What is up guys, Andy Forrest Team Runner here, back with another long-term shoe review. Today we're talking all about the HOKA One One MACH 4 after 300 miles. So welcome back to another video, and today I genuinely am delighted to bring you this review, 300 miles and up in the HOKA One One MACH 4. This one is breaking the mold for me. HOKA shoes don't tend to last as long for me, whether it's because I'm a taller guy, a bit of a heavier guy to a lot of the runners, but the midsole does seem to flatten out. On the HOKA shoes I've tried a lot sooner than 300, but what I want to do today is, of course, with all these long-term reviews, feedback to you guys how this thing is holding up, wear and tear, how I've been using it, and then of course will I continue to use it moving forward. Has it reached its peak at 300, or can I squeeze a little bit more out of it? I'm excited to talk to you guys all about that today. If you're excited for today's video guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and we'll start with the wear and tear. So at 100 miles in any shoe, I always like to use the strapline. At this point, you don't want to see much wear and tear going on. Well, we're at 300 in this thing, so how is it holding up? Let's go through the upper, the midsole and the outsole, and I'll show you a couple of snags that are starting to appear, but thankfully on the medial and lateral side and across the top, we have absolutely nothing to show. It's still looking really good, albeit dirty and grey from the dusty trails that I'm running on. No holes, no snags, no nothing. The upper and the lockdown is still super comfortable. This has not changed. It has not loosened up. I'm not struggling to get a lockdown. It is as comfy as it was from mile 1 to mile 300. As you can see with the midsole, it's this dual layer midsole. ProFly on the top is the darker yellow, and then a more EVA rubberized outsole, meaning that that gives the ProFly a little bit more protection, and that's worked really well in this shoe. We'll talk a little bit about that shortly. Let's talk about the two areas that are starting to snag. So as you can see, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, just on the inside there, you can see there, don't know how that's picking that up. We've gone down a couple of layers of fabric, so we're starting to get a bit of a hole in there. Also the same on the other side. I think that's only gone down one layer of fabric, but really it's so minimal. That's such a tiny hole. It's really not making any difference to the running of this shoe. I don't notice that. That's just general wear and tear. So that's fine. It is happening, so be aware of it, but 300 miles, I'm starting to expect to see these things. In terms of the outsole, as you guys know, HOKAs chew up really badly. Pleased to say this is all once again aesthetic, just like it was at 200. This has deteriorated quite a lot more since the 200 mile video. You can go back on the channel and see that, but as you can see around here, it really has worn right down. And when I get sloppy and go down hills, you can see here, it really has worn again there. But as I just said, this is all aesthetic. There's nothing really to report. As you can see, it does pick up, as Seth would say, a few hitchhikers there, but again, I don't really notice it. It's rare, I just pick them out. So this EVA rubberized outsole is doing a good job in terms of protecting that ProFly. Yes, it's wearing down fast, but I've got to be honest with you, it's starting to break the mold of most of the HOKAs that I've run in. So how have I been using this shoe? Well, this thing has been soaking up the easy and the moderate miles between the 200 and 300 mile mark. I might have done one long run it, I'm not 100% sure, but it's just not getting the long runs because that's where I'm reaching more for the Nova Blast. I'm preferring the comfort and the bounce of that shoe to take me over that distance. It might have done one tempo or threshold workout, I think, where I've just thought I want something that's quite comfy, that's going to keep me in check, because let's be honest, this is not a fast shoe, and I'll clarify that now, and I said it back in the beginning when I did my initial tests. This isn't a fast shoe. This isn't one you want to reach for on your interval days. This is one that you kind of can go through the gears from easy to moderate or steezy, whatever you want to call it, up to around marathon pace, but really no further. I don't find it's not a responsive shoe. It's not one that you land and pop. It's just a smooth gliding shoe that will take you from A to B in a really comfy, well locked down manner. which is why I simply reserve this shoe now for those easy and moderate runs. And to be honest with you, that's what I would recommend this shoe for. If you're looking for something to slot into your rotation, to take some of the easy and moderate miles, then this thing is going to do a really good job. So that's how I've been using it. So will I continue to use this shoe moving forward? Has 300 miles taken its toll on the Mach 4, or can I squeeze a little bit more out of the shoe? Well, I'm pleased to say that I'm going to be continuing to run in it. This thing, as I just said, is breaking the mold of Hoka shoes. I've had the Rincon and I've had the Torrent 2. Obviously two shoes that maybe aren't designed to go, well, the Rincon isn't designed to go lots of miles. I've never run in the Clifton, so I don't know how those things hold up in terms of mileage, but I know and I hear a lot of people saying that they really get between 200 to 400 miles out of their Hokas, mainly 300 to 400, but some people's a bit earlier. And that was probably my category. I'm a bit taller, I'm a bit heavier. I probably put a bit more through this shoe than some of those lighter, quicker, nimbler runners. But 300 miles in and it's going pretty strong. My goal now for this shoe is to take it to its end. I want to run this thing into the ground. I want to see at what point the foam flattens out. It was very, very obvious with the Rincon. It literally overnight went like that and it just went like a rock. It went very uncomfortable to run in, and sadly around 160, 170 miles, that was game over. With the Mach 4, I'm still feeling like it's got a decent amount of cushioning in it. Yeah, it's not the same as what it was back in the first couple of 100 miles. Yeah, I am genuinely starting to notice it get a little bit less soft and a little bit firmer, but it's not enough yet. It's not causing any issues. It still feels relatively comfortable, and I'm just so in love with the lockdown feeling that I get from this shoe that I just want to keep running in it. So I think for me personally, will it make it to 400? We'll have to see. I hope it does, and it'd be great to give you a 400 mile update. I really do think that will be its limit, but to be fair, this thing has been an absolute shining star this year in terms of the shoes that I've had. It is the James Milner of running shoes. I use that reference a lot. It is just quite a boring personality, shall we say, but it gets the job done, and I have really, really enjoyed it. So there we go. That is my update on the HOKA One Mach 4 after 300 miles. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank all of you guys for commenting on the Nova Blast video. I asked for your suggestions. There have been some great suggestions, so let me just give you a couple of updates on some of those suggestions. The Puma Deviate Nitro and the Skechers Max Row 5. Someone very kindly with the Max Row 5 told me you could get them on the Skechers website, which was fantastic. I went and had a look, and surprise, surprise, they only have in stock up to size 11 UK, which is no good for me because I'm a 13. So sadly, that one is out of the running. The Puma Deviate Nitro, another one that you guys have recommended, I would love to try, but at the moment, again, on Puma's website, it only goes up to 12. I've checked ASOS, Sports Shoes, Pro Direct Running. I cannot find a UK 13 anywhere. So that's sort of whittling some of these down. I've also had positive comments about the Endorphin Shift, the Prism, the Rincon 3, the Mizuno Wave Rider 25 someone threw in as a curveball. That was an interesting one. There were a few others that I was looking to try. So I'm now starting to do a little bit of research, thinking about what I want to do. My favourite, or what I'm swinging, the New Balance More V3. The ones that I'm looking at in a bit more detail is the Prism version 2, is the Rincon, but I'm just not sure on the Rincon, so it might well end up going down the New Balance route, and the More V3 is also jumping out at me. If there's any that I've missed and you guys can think of any good suggestions for daily trainers, I'm looking for light and nimble, not heavy and clunky. Some of you guys suggested the Invincible. I'd love to try that shoe, but not for £160. I will get it on discount when I can, and I gather it's relatively heavy in my size. I want something light and nimble. The Prism is light and nimble. The Rincon 3 is light and nimble. Something around that area is what I'm looking for. So if I've missed anything, please do let me know in the comments below. And once again, thank you all for taking the time to comment on that and giving me your thoughts and feedback. Anyway, brilliant to give you guys a 300 mile update on this shoe. This thing is going until the bitter end, and I can't wait to share with you when it finally goes. But Hoka, what a great job you've done with this shoe. That's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.